We are live.
We are live. Welcome this afternoon, Real United Talk. Bit of a different time of day, but we have a tight schedule tonight because we got the evening of pleasure of watching Tashima tonight. So, hey,
Maybe.
Get in there.
Martin. Martin, welcome, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, all right. Yeah?
Yeah, not too bad. Diedrich, sexy as ever.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you good? Right, let's preview then. Carabao Cup tomorrow. Brighton away again. How does Ollie go into this game, knowing that's a loss against Crystal Palace and I would say a quite fortunate win against Brighton for the weekend? How do we go in? What's the mentality of the players, do you think? What sort of sides are you picking?
Who are you asking?
You, Martin. I just said Martin.
Sorry, mate.
Like broke up a bit.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Cool.
I think that it'll change after team. I hope that he goes for it. And I don't want to see 5 at the back or any of that sort of shit. I want to see Van der Beek start. And I want to see Martial play as well. I want to see Martial score. But apart from that, I'm not too fussed. I don't mind if Lingard... I really want Fred to play. I hope he plays holding midfield. And then I hope that Pogba and Van der Beek are ahead of him. I think Pogba's got to play as well.
Okay, Pogba did come off against Brighton, didn't he? Was it about 63, 64 minutes, I think it was. So, yeah, he should be fresh and ready. Diedrich, what do you think then?
Upon closer reflection, I'd change a few things. Probably bring in, because it's all like Carabao Cup, innit? I'd bring in Henderson, or drop Wan-Bissaka because I don't think he's in good form at the minute. I'd definitely bring in Bailly, Maguire, bring in Williams. Then I'd go with Matic, Van der Beek, and Bruno, and then up top, obviously Greenwood, Martial, Rashford.
Okay, right. For me, would you be upset, Martin, if we come out of this competition at such an early stage? Do you think that he should be in this competition here, aim to win it? Because obviously a lot of the fan base.
Yeah, I'd go for it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I hope he goes for it. I think, Diedrich, did you say on the post-match show the other day that you think Brighton will put a strong team out?
Yeah, I think they'll play the exact same. I don't think Brighton have got the strength and depth to have 2 sets of 11s. I think they'll play the exact same 11.
With that point that you say there, is that not kind of saying that because they ain't got the strength and depth, they can't afford injuries to go back into the Premier League with it?
I suppose you could look at it that way.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it as in their reserves are so weak that they can't play them. I'm looking at it as they need their first team players to stay in the league. They can't afford to lose them.
Well, it definitely is a good point. I just, like I said, I don't know of many. Brighton, I don't think they've got the strength and depth to pull in 11, but I think that they're pretty much one of them teams that will play the same 11 week in, week out through the FA Cup, through the Carabao Cup, and everything else like that.
I'd love to see them play.
I think they're 2 games ahead of us, aren't they?
I don't know. Is it 2?
I think so. I think they played a pre-season game, and they're a week ahead of us in terms of Premier League fixtures.
Do you think they pretty much go with then the same team that they put out at the weekend?
I think they will do.
Yeah, I don't. So it's going to be interesting, that is.
Okay. For me, I'd pretty much go, I think that back 5 that we played against Luton, I think that was quite solid enough.
I'd love to see Mengi come in. Not instead of Bailly, I'd have him and Bailly. I'd rest Maguire. I think Maguire could really do with that.
What's the deal? Do you know what the deal is with Twansevy at the minute? Is he still injured?
That I know of, I know he's still injured. And Maguire, we're good, Maguire. I think Maguire played more minutes than any single United player this season. I don't understand the obsession. Maybe it's just a case of you're a captain, you play every minute. But if I were Maguire, I'd be like, fuck off, man. Give me a bit of a break.
Yeah.
I did read on Sky Sports earlier on that Diogo Dalot potentially going, and that could see Ethan Laird be promoted up to the first team.
It's not that he could be; he has been.
Has been. Okay,
Yeah.
right. So that's sorted out. And so yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a tough game. I would be pretty pissed off if we actually do get beat out of it. I think Solskjaer's going to change the tactics. He always does every show. I think Solskjaer's pretty got to change the way that they play. Got to play the dynamic, because I didn't see it work at the weekend for a good hour, and I think they were lucky to get through it with the Bruno penalty as well. Very, very lucky. Which brings us on to this handball rule, boys.
Oh.
Martin, let's go with you. I've not heard you mention this. What do you think of this new handball rule? And how do you think it's going to fuck up the Premier League?
What is the official rule now? I don't know it.
Basically, even if it touches any part of the arm from there downwards, whether it's intentional, whether the player's even looking, it is now by the letter of the law. It is a penalty if it's not just play. Yeah, so you literally could be fucking. If your arm's in an unnatural position, they pretty much see it as a penalty. Like the Lindelof situation, he's running with his hands up. The ball gets smacked at him and his hands there. They're saying it's an unnatural position, but what they're not taking into account is he's running. So unless you want them to fucking run like that, it's pretty fucking.
It's stupid and it's inefficient. That won't work, because everything they're doing at the moment with the rules is to benefit the attackers. They're not doing anything to help the back four. And I get it for the entertainment purpose, but it's not fair.
Well, go on, Diedrich.
I'm going to say the reason I don't like the way we deal with things is we do it different as everyone else. When VAR first came in, everywhere else in Europe trialled it. Spain trialled it. I think Germany were the first country to officially trial it. They did it well, efficiently. I think then we did it at the World Cup and in the FA Cup. It was running okay. And then as soon as we get it in our country properly, it's like we go, oh, we've seen it work everywhere else, but we'll make up our own fucking rules. Okay. So we've made up our own rules on that one. And now we've brought in this own rule about the handball. If that's how you want to play it, then fine. But you've got to think this then hinders teams that are going to be playing in the likes of the Europa League and the likes of the Champions League. Because if the 38 games, and just including Premier League games, not even including Carabao Cup and FA Cup, if you're used to a specific set of rules, and then all of a sudden you're not using those rules on a week, in the middle of the week, it's going to confuse you. You're going to be like, oh, actually, yeah. It's like even in the Champions, is it correct that the Champions League is still going to be using 5 subs?
Yeah.
But yeah, in England we're not.
That's weird, isn't it?
Why do we think it's different to go our own fucking way? It just hinders our teams when they go and play abroad because we're not used to those set of rules.
I think maybe looking at that with the 5 clubs in the Champions League is they're looking towards the latter stage of the competition with, is it European Championships next year?
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of like coincide and benefit players like that. Mark's in the comments, Chris is in the comments. There's a few people watching, but only 2 commenting. Chris says handball rules should go back to basics, only penalise if intentional. And Chris agrees with you, Diedrich, says exactly. Why should the defenders not get the benefit for a change? Everything seems to help attackers. This handball rule is going too far. Martin, then, sorry. But yeah, I don't know if you watched any of the games over the weekend, but it was interesting to listen to Roy Hodgson talk about the handball that, as you mentioned earlier, from Lindelof against Palace in our first game. He didn't think that was a penalty. He also, Everton also had a penalty given to him against Crystal Palace. Mourinho was absolutely fuming after the Tottenham-Newcastle game because they dropped 2 points because Newcastle got a penalty towards the end. We obviously got the penalty against Brighton. So there's a lot of confusion about this rule. So I'm thinking
I'd say the one against Brighton now are pretty much a stone wall. There's no fucking accidental about leading into a header that way.
Well, I think the only confusion about it is, Martin, is the distance.
Fucking hell.
That one against Brighton that we got, the distance from when Maguire headers the ball the ball to the hands, is there enough room, enough space for him? Because it's a natural thing. You're jumping up.
You don't jump with one arm. You jump
What
like
he
that.
did wasn't natural. What he did
That's not a
wasn't
natural movement. You jump
No.
like that with both your hands, and you fit your head like that. You don't
No, that
jump
was
like
foul
that.
play. What Morpay did was not. That was foul play. That was a penalty. Definitely.
Okay.
What
Right,
Lindelof
so-
done was not a penalty.
No?
No.
Right, so in your eyes, then, Diedrich, the handball rule is basically complete naff. Yeah.
I think it's naff, but but I feel sorry for the referees in a sense. It's not very often you'll hear me say that, but they're following it to the letter of the law.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be like the season. If you remember, beginning of a couple of seasons ago, everyone would be the first 5-6 games in, everyone would be pulled up for penalties for shirt pulling. If you remember, Smalling was fucking a bastard for it. Because first few weeks of the season, it was like everyone was literally like, don't grab onto anyone, don't grab onto anyone. Then towards December, it almost kind of got forgot about. And I think that'll be the case with this. I think eventually they will just kind of just take it out of stride and be like,
so what do you
common sense
think?
has to prevail.
As a fan, then, guys, we'll go with Diedrich first. What is your interpretation of this rule? Yeah,
What's my understanding of it?
Yeah, where does the line be drawn here from ball to hand to ball? Because I mean, I see a lot of people on Twitter, mate, social media criticising the VAR, and in all fairness, I mean, I know the VAR is a computer thing, but it's fuck all to do with the VAR.
It's not. It's the ruling. It's the rule. The rule's the problem, not the fucking VAR. The VAR and the referee are just doing what following the letter of the law.
Yeah. I mean, Martin, what do you think about it all? I mean, what's your take on it?
I think at the end of the season they'll end up changing it back. I think that it will. Yeah, I think because what is it now below the shirt line, Diedrich?
I think it's shoulder.
Handball. Is it
shoulder seam?
Even up here?
Height, yeah.
I think so.
Well, that's
I might be wrong.
That's ridiculous. They'll change it back. It won't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris says, how is it fair for a game to be decided over an unintentional handball? Most of these handballs are with no space and unintentional. If it's intentional, it's a penalty. The refs aren't to blame. It's the rule that's totally unfair.
You see, that's where the unintentional thing, I don't agree with the unintentional thing because, I mean, with the intentional thing, because there are going to be penalties given even prior to this rule that are given, and it's generally not going to be. No one's going to fucking purposely put their hand up like that, and fucking it does happen, but that's intentional. A lot of the times you'll be a handball, but it won't be for something that you've done intentionally, but it is an handball.
Do you know
and
something
it's not
we
even
could
a
look
handball
at
to hand.
to clear this up? You should in the VAR room have ex-players or have an ex-player as part of the team. I think that would clear a lot of this up. Obviously, not with a bias. Like if we're playing City, we don't want one of our ex-players in the room.
Fucking Gary Neville.
Fucking Andy Cole and Dwight York in the VAR room.
Well, Cole played for both, so fuck him.
When we first brought VAR in, I think it was Ferdinand that said about doing that. I think it's a really good idea. Getting one ex-player to be part of a VAR team and get them, not just in coaching, get them in the refereeing side of the game, the law side of the game. I think it could benefit football. I
think we should be getting a lot more ex-players turning into referees. I think that'd be because you get it. You know, you get someone with football knowledge. Like I think the level of refereeing in the Premier League, although we are this big money power league, the refereeing in our league is a fucking joke.
It's the worst.
Who's that? Yeah, I can't. What's it? Is Mike Dean? I can't fucking stand that. What?
No, I can't.
He's more about making the game about himself.
He loves the attention, doesn't he, that guy?
Yeah.
Right, let's go on to the big news of the day then, Diedrich. I know you want to talk about this, mate. I can see it in your eyes.
I can feel the energy.
Yes,
feel the
power. Sancho then, Marco Reus has come out and said that he's staying for another year, which in my eyes makes sense. I know you don't agree with me, but it does make sense. So what's your take on it? Is that the nail in the coffin on the Sancho saga now?
Unless Marco Royce has moved from club captain to fucking CEO of Russia Dortmund, then it doesn't mean fuck all. End of the day, we're all. I mean, you were saying that you seem pretty confident this deal's dead because of an ex-teammate, because of a teammate saying, who speaks to him every single day. But let's not forget. Does everyone remember the picture of Neymar and PK together? Picture of PK saying Neymar's staying. 3 weeks later, we're fucking holding up a PSG shirt. That means nothing.
My defence, though, I think there's a bit more substance to this than just talking to teammates. All right, if you take into all the information, the deadline, the fact that he's still playing, the fact that Dortmund ain't got enough time to get a replacement. Ed saying he's not paying over a certain amount. Sancho being quite happy, not handing in a transfer request. To me, I think it's dead in the water. I didn't believe he was coming in the first place anyway, despite what others said. But there's always that chance. In football's nothing certain, as everyone knows. So there's 6 days left of the transfer window. The rumour was from Manchester Evening News, United were waiting until after September 30th for the financial report to then go in with a bid. Now, to counteract that, there was a tweet from, who's that lad you list to? The Italian?
Fabrizio Romano.
Romano, yeah, that's the one. There was a tweet I saw from him a couple of days ago saying that it looks like Sancho is staying. So what's your take on this situation? Does it go ahead because United know they have to pay that amount? And I also see this afternoon that Ismail Assar from Watford is in talks.
I think I don't think that the deal's dead in the water yet. I don't think it's dead until United stop pursuing. You're not telling me if United had a hinge, had an inkling that this bid will not be accepted and there's no chance that Sancho will come now, that they'd waste another week chasing him. I mean, I do realise our fucking club is ran by complete and utter idiots, but surely to God they're not that stupid. If you know somebody's not going to accept an offer, you're not even going to keep bothering, are you? It's like me keep going into cash converter trying to sell something, going, "Oh, you're going to give me what I want today. You're going to give me what I want today. You're going to give me." Eventually, they're going to be like, "Mate, you're bored. Fuck off. Get out." I just can't. I guess I'm living in hope rather than anything, because I think I almost think that it's getting to the point now where either we come out and just call either. Man United come out and kill the deal dead now and say, look, that's it. We've fucking chased enough. We're not getting in. We're moving on to bigger alternative, or better. We're moving on to alternative, sorry. Or we fucking get him. That's the only 2 options now because we chased him all summer. Can't chase somebody all summer and at the end of it go, oh, yeah, we didn't bid what they accepted. You knew how much the fucking bid was. You knew how much they wanted. There's been no surprise.
Yeah, and Dortmund have still stated, they're still saying the August 10th was the deadline.
Okay, that doesn't mean fuck all. That doesn't mean nothing. You slap 108 million on that table, you watch them eat.
Oh yeah, they probably would do. Yeah, they probably would do. But I'm just saying what I've read. Martin, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think we'll get him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Haven't they just announced that they've lost a quarterly loss of 50 million as well?
I think it was either yesterday or the day before. I think the figure I read was about 17 million.
Was it? I'll have to have a look at it because I saw something earlier. And if they're losing money, well, that's not what they're about, is it? So
no, but I think the way the stance the clubs are trying to do this deal, Dortmund have said they're absolutely flabbergasted by the way United have tried to do this.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, isn't it, Diedrich? I mean, I can see it from Ed's point of view, trying to get your best value for money. But when you got a team there, a club, saying that is the fucking price, we're not budging. That is the price. Pay that or don't, go elsewhere. I can't understand how this deal has taken so long when the Manchester United hierarchy know the price. I don't understand it. What is the point of trying to save 5 million off a 108 million price tag? It's back.
The only thing I can think of is they've maybe tried lowballing him and then realised, oh shit, they're not having this.
You think? Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes fucking any sense.
What doesn't make sense to me is why clubs are doing business so late. Like, why the end of last week they're saying, "Oh, next week things are going to really heat up." Why didn't they heat up fucking 6 weeks ago, like Chelsea?
I think this is
Why didn't they heat up before we even played a fucking game? Why didn't they heat up the day we got knocked out of Europa League? Do you know something as well that I've seen is and I think it's got a lot of oomph behind this. I think there's something in this that we will get a striker. Because with Ollie not having Igalo on the bench the other day, and now today we're linked with 2, I think we'll get a striker. I think we'll definitely get a striker.
Josh King is apparently
possibly, but I just think we'll definitely get a striker as well.
I'm saying Quinton Romano, Torino have had a bid accepted for Josh King, so that takes Josh King off the tempo.
I read yesterday, mate. Mourinho's after him back up for Kane.
No, he wants
things. He wants things.
Yeah. So, right.
I would love it if we went for him.
Right. So the 2 strikers we've been linked with today. 2 strikers we've been linked with: Edison Cavani, which is a free agent, I think. I mentioned him a couple of months ago. I think Jay Hart mentioned him a couple of months ago as well. It just makes perfect sense for the way United do business. Whether it's a good signing or not is, irrelevant in a way, because this is an Ed Woodward type of deal. Splash the money on wages and you fuck off the transfer fee. So let's go with this one first. Cavani, Martin.
Yeah.
Released from PSG.
Yeah. For me, it's all about what deal we can agree.
Yeah.
Good player. He as a finisher, as a goal scorer, the break the nose striker that Ollie wants, that's him. But it's all about what sort of package he wants, and I know that he will probably want a lot. If we're paying Igalo 100, Cavani's entitled to 200, isn't he? But if we did that, I don't want him more than 18 months, 2 years. I don't want a fucking 4-year deal or anything.
Am I correct in saying his age is about 32?
Yeah.
Probably about 36. How old is he, actually? Alexa.
I think he is about 32. I think Mark.
How old is Edison Cavani? 33 years old. 14th of February going on. So by the time February rolls around, he'll be 34.
Okay, right. Chris says if we don't get Sancho, I'd rather not get anyone. Why should Ollie accept another alternative? How many priority signings has Ollie got? Most of our signings have been second or third choice. Mark says, I never wanted Sancho. He's the most overrated player ever. I'd say he's overrated, but I wouldn't say overrated ever. Ollie wants him, Mark. He is a priority signing. Otherwise, he would have pulled out ages ago. Right, Edison Cavani then, Diedrich, for you. I'd have him on the bench.
No.
I really would.
No.
I think he'd bring more to the table than Igalo.
I'd rather try and find a winger or a striker in our youth academy. I really would. I'd rather promote Greenwood to a striker and try and find another right winger. I really would. Cavani like I just said, then he'll be 34 by February. And you're not telling me United aren't happy about all these players being on these big wages, but yet they'd be happy to give, because Cavani's probably going to want about 250k, 300k a week. And if he's not going to be first choice, and that means you're paying somebody 300, 250 grand a week to sit on your bench.
Yeah.
With Igalo.
Be a similar situation to what Mourinho went towards Taylor. Having your club captain on the bench like 350 grand a week. Chris says Cavani won't come sit on the bench. Who's the other one?
We're all forgetting this. The guy's never played in the Premier League. He spent the last couple of years in France fucking with his feet up, in a sense.
Well, mate, Zlatan didn't play in the Premier League.
Zlatan's a different animal.
Oh, yeah,
and he pulled it off for about a season, then he died the second season, didn't
he? Yeah, I suppose so.
And look at how bad we played under Ibrahimovic when you're seeing how much pace we no longer have. and how fucking deep teams come and pushed us at Old Trafford.
You wouldn't take them then, no?
No.
No, Martin.
I would. At the right price, I would.
I would take him. I would take him.
I'm only saying it because
guy,
of what we've currently got. That's all.
Yeah. The other guy then, who is it, Diedrich?
Luka Jovic.
Luka Jovic, right. Right. Give us a bit of background about him then. Where he plays, who he plays for, etc.
Serbian striker, started off, I think it was, I've always tracked him since Benfica. Wasn't the best at Benfica. They got loaned out to Eintracht Frankfurt. First, I think his youngest player in the Bundesliga to ever score 5 goals in one game. But they had him on loan, but they had agreed a deal to basically, an option to buy. So what they did was in April of 2019, they agreed a deal to buy him and then sold him 2 weeks later to Real Madrid. But he's a bit of for 60 million euros. But he's one of those players, like I said, he's a bit of a Balotelli. He's got a bit of an attitude problem with him. I think he's had quite an actual few things, especially going back in Serbia. I think he's broke a few laws. I don't think he's got the easiest fucking thing, right? Especially with his countrymen and playing for his country. I think there's a lot of problems there as well. I don't.
Bit of a bad foot then.
I think he also broke fucking quarantine rules or something a couple of weeks ago when he went back to Serbia.
Okay. So is he not playing for the current team then, at the minute?
Real Madrid, no.
Yeah.
I think he spent a lot of last season injured.
Okay.
Could be wrong. They mainly play with Benzema, don't they, Real Madrid?
Okay, Martin, do you know anything about him?
Yeah, I watched him with Frankfurt when he was there, but that's all. I haven't seen him before then. But I didn't know about this attitude problem that Diedrich has said. If he's like that, he won't be coming because what was it Ollie said? He'd rather have a hole in the squad than an arser. I think he said that. If that's true, then that's the end of Jovic, isn't it? Because he ain't coming.
Okay. All right,
I'd rather take him because he is young, and I think you could maybe turn him around.
Yeah, if he's willing to be like that, if he's willing to learn and calm it down a bit, definitely, of course, he's better than anything we've got other than Martial up front. But you don't want that attitude. You don't want Balotelli here, do you?
Is he the sort of player then that goes straight into the first 11?
I would put him there, and I would put Martial on the left at a minute. Although Rashford's just had half a good game, but
okay,
I would play Martial off the left.
Well, Diedrich was shaking his head then. So,
what
was it a sub option? Yeah,
I'd have him as coming out. I wouldn't mind just seeing. I've said from the beginning, I think competition's a good thing. This is why when Jimenez would link with, you had other United fans kicking off, especially let's name it, Goldbridge kicking off, saying, "Why are we doing this to Martial?" I always want this to be competition, and I don't like to say, "Oh, he's your starting 11, he's your striker that always play every game, and he's for the bench." I want the striker to come in that's going to be like, "Well, no, fuck that. I want to be number one. I want that rivalry."
Okay, fair enough. So you want a rivalry similar to what's going on with United's number one spot at the minute?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's have a look. Quite a few comments here. Chris said we've agreed contract terms. We wouldn't do that if we didn't want him.
Sancho.
Mark says wasn't saying Ollie doesn't want him, just no official bids were ever put in. And then Chris says, for me, I'm not concerned about Sancho. It's more to do with Ollie. And if he's being backed, Ollie is struggling to get any priority signings from these parasite board members. Mate, that's a fair comment. Oh, look, and we're greeted. Look, Mr. Pankaj Pahawani. Pankaj, how are you doing, mate?
Fucking hell. Right, I'm going.
Pankaj, afternoon, mate. You're right.
The Panky Devil.
Well, I was just about to wrap up, but seeing as you're here, then let's get your 2 pence worth. Cavani and I forget his name already. The guy at Real
Luka
Jovic. Come on, Pankaj. What do you know, mate?
I mean, Cavani is an experienced striker, so I wouldn't mind either of them, to be honest, because Cavani would bring that leadership, that personnel we need in the squad right now. Because we don't have that in our team. You know,
Competition. Yeah.
It's gonna be a short term, but yeah. For your week, I've heard of him. I don't know much about him, but what I've heard is he's a really good striker. He's a similar sort of striker like a Jimenez, like a Wadi. Out and out. Just he can do much more as a striker. He's really a mobile kind of striker, fast kind of PC striker. Jimenez, Wadi, like those sort of strikers. So I would like him as well. So
So
yeah,
is that what you
but I
want,
don't.
an experienced striker?
Yeah, or like
So
yeah,
you want
obviously.
so you won't take Mike Hughes back then, no?
Oh my
Akash, mate. Sancho, come on. You give it to me in the group chat. Both barrels. Right.
Get him, Pankaj, get him.
As did he up there.
Look, I'm
So,
not. I'm not in United's negotiating room to see what they're doing. Okay, or
okay.
what they want to do. But what I think, what I believe, this deal will happen. On
Right.
whether it's before deadline day or on deadline day, we are going to put in a bid, and Dortmund will accept the bid. That's what I think. It's going to happen, Marcus, because we have seen a lot of reports out there. There's a lot of briefings. Whether it's saying United is the same thing all over again. The briefs. I hear it with Bruno. I hear it with Maguire. We believe that we can do a deal still. We are not giving up on the deal. We hope of doing the deal. The same pattern goes on and on again. And you look at the club, the opposite club, they will obviously come out and say that we won't sell the player. The player is staying. What do you expect the club to do? And because he's on, basically he's not essentially he's not going to push the move, and Dortmund, they want the money, so they are obviously going to bring it out and out again. And why are they again and again saying Sancho is staying, Sancho is staying, Sancho is staying? We know that they could just bring out an official statement that Sancho is staying, but they didn't even bring any official statement. They could have just officially brought in a statement that Sancho will stay with us this season and he's not for sale. They didn't do that because he's still for sale this season. Why would he? Why would we bring in a bid knowing that he will stay for the season and he's not for sale?
He's still for sale.
He's still for sale.
Even though, right, he's still playing for his current club and can break his leg.
Bruno
he's still
Fernandes in January.
Right.
But why was still playing for Leicester in pre-season training?
He played all.
Yeah.
Maguire played every one of Leicester's pre-season games.
If you're going to pay, right, Pankaj, right, let me ask you this, right? If you're going to pay £108 million, okay, right, that's a lot of fucking money, right? Are you going to say to that player out in Germany, yeah, you can still play. You can still play?
No, I mean,
we can't say not to because you don't own him.
You know what I've heard, there was a financial quarter thing. I don't know if it's true or not, but Samuel, that guy from Manchester United, Manchester United Evening News, whatever is it?
Samuel
he came out and said that. Lucas, he came out and said that United have a financial quarter that after 30 September they have to balance. They can balance the what do you call it? Financial books, whatever, and to see whether that everything, if they're not in loss, right? So obviously they can go and then make a bid for Sancho. They are waiting after September 30 to make a bid. So obviously that's why they haven't get him yet. To be honest.
Great comment.
Marcus, you need to remember we have an incompetent people over club.
That there.
Fucking hell, you even read loud. I
want to ask. I'm going to go at Martin for this one right now. Martin, what would you determine as a panic sign? Right, because let's be honest here, right? We've got 6 days left of the transfer window, right? If United pull this off, right? If United pull this off, fans and journalists they've got a question: why wasn't this done earlier? If they pull off Sancho now, right? Why have they waited until the last trickles of the transfer window?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, right, would this be declared as a panic signing or not?
No, not
No?
this one. No.
Right. Give me a reason. Give me a reason why.
Because they wanted him all along. And to be honest, he is. I don't know a better right winger in the world at the moment. Did you just come?
Okay.
No, I stubbed my toe. I'm messing around with plugs.
Do it again. I enjoyed it.
No, it's all right, you fucking freak. Hey, don't, Jess, come out here. Sorry,
Diedrich.
I couldn't resist.
Diedrich, last 6 days then, I mean, Martin says no, it's not a panic signing because they've been after him all summer.
Yeah.
Will it reek of desperation? I saw someone, I mean,
No,
Chris
if we get
says here,
Sancho, no. If you ask me, Cavani and Luka Jovic, they'd be the panic buy, not Sancho.
Yeah.
No, you can't negotiate for someone for 6 weeks, then sign him on the fucking eve of the 6th week and say panic buy, can you?
well, mate, I'm just bringing the argument.
And I'm just telling you.
All right.
Hey.
This is what rival fans will say, right?
No,
they will say, if you got him now for the 108 million, why didn't you get him at the start of the window? The deal was
I would agree with. That I would agree with. We'll just look stupid. It would just be like the whole Fellaini. Do you remember Fellaini? We could have got him for 20 million, but we waited until a certain clause expired in his contract that meant we could get him for 36 instead.
I would love to know the financial gain.
Right.
Go on, mate.
That's why Edward Wood is a good businessman. Edward Wood, they consider him to be a good businessman. Why? Because he does sponsorship deals good and all these things. So, we always, as a club, we wait for the big deals, right? We generally wait till the end. And for the financial quarter, after the financial quarter, we make the bid. The same with Maguire, I believe, to be honest.
Have you ever had them Nissin noodles that were sponsored by?
No.
They're actually really good. They're like super noodles. You get like a little. No, you actually get like a little sachet of oil that come with them as well.
All right.
Get it from Tesco imported section.
Fantastic.
So would you consider that a good job done by Woodward?
For a little, yeah, because before we got sponsored by him, they weren't a sachet of oil. It was just super noodles. They're like 50p in Tesco. You got to go to the imported bit though.
Mark says Ollie got a new seat padding. That's the only priority signing the Glazers will get Ollie this year. Chris says, agree, Mark. We would all ask the question why we didn't do the deal earlier, but remember, Woodworm and Glazers couldn't care less. This is it. This is what I like to do on here, see, because you three usually have the same opinion, and I just like to experience the different side of the argument. Instead of having 3 people come on here saying, yeah, I believe Sancho, I like to, throw a spanner in the works and just see how you lot would come back with it.
I think we all agree, me, Pankaj and Diedrich, I think we all agree that he's gonna come here, but I think we've all got our different reasons and support behind it, why.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is quite reassuring.
Yeah. I mean, I admire Pankaj's fucking insistence on it. Yeah. There's no swaying this lad at all. No swaying him at all.
No.
Even if go on.
Even if Sancho died,
I'm not changing my mind.
It's there's no. He will not have it that Sancho ain't coming. He will not have it at all. So Pankaj, you're gonna have to buy me Costa next week. All right. So I'll be waiting for it from India. Okay. Right, Pankaj, let's go with you then because you missed the start.
Yeah.
The cup match against Brighton. What does Ollie do? Does he stay in it? Does he come out of it? Does he go for it properly? Does he want to win it? What?
I think the moral and ethical thing to do is to stay in it, and we should go on to win that game. Yeah, I think we should win that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should go for it.
Does he put a full strength team out, or does he change it?
No, I would. Yes, I would.
What, change it? Yeah. My
Yeah, I
God.
would go for the.
So,
I lost the signal. I lost the signal. Wait, I lost the signal.
you scared me for a
Yes,
minute.
I would.
Then.
I would. I
I thought
would. I
the
would
battery
go
went in
for
the aid.
actually. I would go for the same squad against Luton. To be honest,
Okay,
maybe
okay.
because
Not
I don't trust I don't trust De Gea. To be honest, nah. Against because the way he's performing and against Brighton also he looked a bit shaky. I know he
yeah.
made a save, but it was just a straight. I mean, it was just a normal block. I mean, it came straight to him. So I don't know.
No block.
Okay,
You know.
all right, fair enough. Um, Chris says, "How can he be so sure? There surely has to be at least a slight of doubt with who we have negotiating deals and not answering phones." I think that was in reference to you, Pancars, being so sure of Sancho. Um, Mark said, who's echoing slightly. I think that was Diedrich because he had his headphones on the table. Pancars makes things up as he goes and sticks to his guns. What's that? Listen, Noodles,
Noodles.
fuck the world.
No, for the win.
Oh, for the win. Okay. Right. Well, next time you're on here, Diedrich, then you have to show us the actual
we
noodles.
haven't got any fucking
Oh.
people have been panic buying, haven't they? And fucking took them from the house. Them and all my fucking bog roll.
Oh, I've
Oh.
had them.
Oh,
What bog
Yeah,
roll?
I've got. Yeah, I've had them. There's a Chinese grocery store across the road. I've had them.
Little green packet.
Okay.
Yeah, there's loads of different flavors.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah, they're
I
nice.
need to go.
All right,
No,
Pancars.
you
Yeah.
stay and listen to us
No.
talk about noodles. I'm not...
I need to go.
Catch you in a bit, package.
Bye, mate.
Right. So
Guess you don't like noodles.
no, apparently
Pissed
not.
him
mate.
off.
Do you think, boys, is there going to be a signing before deadline day that's going to be under the radar?
Oh,
Yes or
Yeah.
no, Diedrich? Go
This
on, mate.
so
week,
somebody who we haven't already talked about.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be a surprise signing?
If we were anyone else, I'd say yeah, but I don't think our club have got the ineptitude. I think fucking Lionel Messi's agent could ring us up tomorrow and say, "Look, we can get you Messi." We'd still fucking probably go. Well, can you tell us in 2 weeks' time?
I think there's going to be one signing, and I think it's going to be Tellez. And
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I think the Cavani deal makes to Woodward. It doesn't make sense to Ollie, but it makes sense to Woodward. But I think Tellez is a sure hit. Chris says Josh King.
It's going to Reno.
Yeah, Torino. Okay, Martin. Anyone that you know of that's been linked under the radar at all that no one mentioned?
Either the young lad from Atlanta, or I got
Traore.
yeah. Or I've got a sneaky feeling about Kante.
I said that ages ago. I wouldn't mind Kante, but everyone was like, "Oh no, he's one of Frank Lampard's most important players." Like,
I
really?
wouldn't be surprised with that.
Okay, fair
I'd
enough.
I think
take
we'll
him.
get three. I think we'll get three players this week.
Is that including
Ooh.
Van der Beek or three on top?
No, three more.
Three more.
Oh
Okay.
fuck!
Mate, you are optimistic.
Are you
aren't you?
hoping Tellez,
Sancho.
Tellez,
And then-
Sancho, and
And it's the striker thing today. I think we'll get a striker.
ooh,
Which one
I'd
out of
say-
them two would
I'd
you
take
go
that.
for, Cavani?
I would go for Jovic, but if he's a wanker, I wouldn't. So yeah.
Right, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Right, so that'd be four in total. then.
apparently, he likes Skyforce, so he might watch you.
Does he?
Uh,
Oh fucking hell! I'll
Is he
pay his
co-op?
taxi fare.
Diedrich, then he's gone for three on top of Van der Beek. What do you think?
two.
Two positions. Anyone particular?
Sancho and Tellez.
Sancho and Tellez.
If we
Okay.
got three in, I'd be fucking delighted. I'd still want the fucking Glazers out though. That met that fucking.
Yeah.
This should have been fucking done months ago.
I totally agree, mate.
They've sucked
They
every
take
bit
so
of joy
long.
out of it.
Chris says he'd rather a centre back or a holding mid instead of the striker. Interesting.
Kante? Would he want Kante?
Chris, would you take Kante?
Yeah.
Mark says, I heard the Brazilian Pedro was linked to a striker, isn't he?
Pedro.
You tell me, boys. I've
I
never
don't
heard of.
know about Pedro. I know about the young lad called Everton. He plays on the wing, but I don't know Pedro.
Okay.
Oh no,
There you
Pedro.
go.
The Pedro I know is the one that's just gone to fucking Roma from Chelsea. You mean Pedri? Pedri?
Who's he then?
I think the lad I'm thinking of was a Spanish lad. Pedri.
Okay, all right. Right, boys. Chris says, yeah, definitely. Yes, Kante is definitely a good addition. So yeah, Chris would take Kante. I've got to admit as well. I think if he still possesses half the ability that he did do last season, season before, I would take him, mate.
Why the
But
hell has
Lampard
no
in the
one got?
previous manager keep playing him as a 10.
I
Yeah, I
know
know.
he's a CDM in my eyes all day long.
Why the hell has no one gone for Partey? What the fuck?
Arsenal trying to get him, haven't they? Trying to get rid
Yeah,
of
but everyone should have
Torreira.
gone for him at that price.
Yeah, and seeing as they're still trying to get rid of players, it's holding up the deal for Partey, isn't it? Apparently.
Has anyone seen the thing from fucking Arsenal fan TV last night? Fucking troops and everyone going sick about the fucking. Watch it. It's comedy gold.
I'll have a
Comedy
look.
gold.
Right, boys, cheers for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, Martin, Diedrich.
Don't forget to
Diedrich.
check out the report card.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe.
Yes,
Wicked
well
show.
done, Diedrich. I'm glad you remembered that. Casey, we're finished now. Right, yeah.
The drummer
Mark
is
says,
fine.
how's the drummer?
Drummer is fine.
Is it? Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Cheers, boys. Chris says I thought Troops was going to burst the blood vessel. I don't watch
So,
it,
yeah,
so I don't
yeah,
know.
fucking 5 grown ass men screaming like children. Brilliant.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Right.
pathetic.
Right, Diedrich. I'll see you tonight, mate.
I see you all tonight, maybe.
Toshima. All right. So, cheers, boys. See you later, everyone. Thanks for joining
See
in.
ya.